Hey everyone, and welcome back to DIY with Melissa. Of course, I'm Melissa, and I have a fun project for you today. Today, I'm going to show you the difference between printable iron-on for dark fabrics versus printable iron-on for light fabrics. They are fun to use. You can see this is probably the biggest size that you can create with it, which is a pretty decent size. If you wanted to put it for a shirt, you can definitely use it for that purpose. And of course, you can do smaller projects. And this is the one for light fabrics. So without further ado, I'm going to head to the computer just to show you how I would get my project ready to ensure it prints correctly on my material. And we'll just grab a few designs off of Design Space to create with. And then we'll come back over to the craft table so I can show you what it looks like, how to weed it, and that kind of thing, my tips and tricks on how to use this material. So let's go over and get this started. We are back at the computer. We're going to get this project going. I just wanted to show you quickly what I would do when I want to use printable iron-on, whether it be for dark or light fabric. As I had mentioned earlier, if you are going to cut portions out, small portions off of out of your material, you will need the heat protectant transfer paper, which is an extra purchase. I'm going to do it so that we do not need that. We're going to make it so that it's a one piece design. This, as you may know, will be cutting each line of each color separate, and then each letter will also be cut out separately. And we don't want that. We want it to cut as one big project. So how do I know that that's going to happen? If I turn my grid lines on, you can see all the little grid line bits in the holes of the letters, in between each letter, etc. We want it so that that's not the case. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to offset this. We want an offset that's big enough that it's going to be behind the entire design. So I'm going to play around with this a little bit to see what I can do to make the offset a little bit smaller. As you can see, this offset is a bit smaller. There we go. I want you to be able to see it. So this offset is smaller. Extraordinary, for instance, is attached to creative, and creative is attached to intelligent, and so on and so forth. However, if you look here, the offset on is not touching anything. So that's going to be its own design by itself. And the same goes for this portion down here, me, the I, the am. It's touching nothing. And actually, amazing, it's touching a little bit of the bottom, but nothing from the top. We want everything to be touching. So we're just going to keep going up in size until we can see that the entire project is touching each other. We'll go up a little bit more. So as you can see, the me, the I am, the she, all of that is touching, including up here. The only thing is that I'm a little bit worried about this extra spacing here, so I am going to go up just a touch more. And there, that looks actually really good. Now, I'm going to hit apply, but before I hit apply, I just wanted to show you these little bits that are showing in between here. These are also going to cut, and we don't want any of this to cut. We want it, like I said, one big design to be printed as it looks right now. So I'm going to hit apply on this. Once I hit apply, you'll see contour is available. I'll bring this down just ever so slightly. When we click on contour, all of those bits are showing. We're going to hide every single piece that is there. It's very easy to hide all of them rather than clicking on each one separately. We're going to click on hide all contours. We'll X out of here, and then I'm going to change the contour to white, or whatever color you want to change it to. It doesn't have to be white. You could change it to yellow. You can change it to purple, to pink, to a darker pink. I think I'm going to go with white because that will make it a lot easier to see the project once it's printed. Now that we have everything done, we're going to select both the offset and the design. We're going to click on flatten. Now this design is going to print exactly like this and cut all the way around like so. We want it to be as big as Cricut will allow. So I usually make it bigger and I'll just hit auto resize. And that way they will resize it to whatever size they Cricut is able to print it at. The other design I'm going to do, we have the same issue. As you can see, we can see the grid lines even in here. So this actually is going to cut inside and outside, even worse. So we want this again to be a print then cut of a rectangle. So I'm going to offset. And I think we can offset this at a lesser offset. Nope, I think we have to keep it at the 100. There. Everything now looks like it's touching. I'm going to hit apply. I'm going to go in with my contour again. Click on hide all contours. Now I have a design that is one piece. Again, I'm going to select both the design and the offset, and I'm going to click on flatten. For this project, I will measure out my blank that I have. Our design can be no bigger than 6.5 inches across, 4 inches up and down. So I need to make it smaller. We need it about 3.5 inches for the height. So that looks pretty good to me. And of course, the width will fit, given that we have 6.5 inches. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring in some fun designs because I don't want to waste the entire portion of this. This will print by itself, but if I click on make, this will take up my entire sheet. But this one, I have a lot of space and I don't want to waste it. So I'm going to just add some designs to it quickly. Okay, I am ready to print. I just created some small decals. I think I'm going to stick them onto my tote that I'm doing here. So I'll show you that as well. Like I said, I hate wasting product. And if I can figure out a way to make use of the entire sheet of paper, why not do it, right? So we're going to go ahead and hit make. And this is fine as it is, but I just want to show you that this one decal has moved to one sheet by itself. But if we look at this sheet, there's enough room on here for that decal. So let's go back to this one. And there are 3 dots in a circle at the top left of your decal. Click on that. You can click on move object. We'll move object to the sheet that we want to move it to, which is my sheet that has enough space for this one decal. And you might have to play around with the other decals a little bit, but you should be able to get them all onto the sheet, just like I have here. And everything is within the cut lines, and I have a little bit of space. If I wanted to cut something else, I could, but I think this looks pretty good, and it's taken up a lot more than what it was before. So I'm going to go ahead and get this printed. Just note, for printable iron-on, you do not need to mirror your image. You'll see why when we move to the craft table, but please just keep that in mind. Do not mirror. Put your paper in the way it prints, however that might be. My own, the portion to print on, I put it facing downwards. And yeah, that's about it. So I'm going to hit continue. We will send to printer as we normally would. You would hit send to printer, find your printer. I am not going to add a bleed to this. The bleed to me is more important if it was a colored project, but remember I have a white offset on this. I don't want extra white to be cut. If, for instance, this was cutting this portion out as one piece right up to the edge of the colored portion, I may add a bleed so that there's not any white showing to it. A bleed just gives it extra ink on either on the edges of your project, and that extra ink will eventually get cut off when you cut your project. So I'm not going to add bleed. The system dialog box, if you want to change your printer preferences, that's when you would click on that. So I'm going to print as is, but before I do that, I'm going to pretend like I've already printed and get my maker to connect, hopefully. There we go. I am going to use a printable, called Printable Iron-On for dark or light fabrics. This is, of course, for Cricut, but I will show you quickly how I ensure that something's cut. I believe I've showed you this before, but I'll show you one more time. So anyhow, I'm actually going to go get these two projects printed now, and I'll meet you back at the craft table. Okay. Our first project is printed. This is the material for dark fabric, so I'm going to actually place this on this tote like this. I'm going to go ahead and get this cut. As I mentioned, you do not need to mirror this design for this material. Both dark and light fabric are printable iron-on. You do not need to mirror the image. We're going to print it as is. This is now going to cut with my Cricut, and then I'll be back to show you how I remove it. Okay, our design is now cut, and I'm just going to show you how I'm going to remove this from, or I guess how I'm going to weed it. So I will just take the corner up for now, and we can just pull it right off. And it's so simple to weed. There we go. Now we'll turn our mat upside down and get the whole project off of our mat. I'm very much an advocate for turning your mat around when removing material. Now our design is ready to go. How you would iron this on, and you'll see me do it after, is you're going to lift the project off of this backing, and you're going to do it extremely gently. It's a very thin material. I'm not sure if you all can see how thin that material is, but it is like very thinner than paper, I guess is really what I can say. So you just want to be very gentle when removing your design. Maybe turning it upside down might be your best bet as well. Oh yeah, look at that. Once you get the bottom going, it's pretty easy to get the entire thing off after that. But because we have almost like a jagged edge, it is going to give me a little bit of grief, but it's not so bad. There we go. Like I said, very gently remove the design. Like that. Our design is now all ready to add to our tote bag. Now you may ask me, what are you going to use to iron this on with? You could use a mini press, or you can use your big heat press, or you can use an iron as well. And I'll show you. A sub, I've noticed, or a koala paper, they actually are really good at showing you, giving you proper directions on how to use it. So for instance, print on the blank side, no need to mirror image, cut the image with a pair of scissors, or of course we use our cutting machine. And it also tells you the temperature to press at, 329 to 365 for 20 to 25 seconds with firm/heavy pressure. But the other good part is it gives you the information about a household iron to use for the iron on. How you'd be doing it. Do not use an ironing board. My guess is because the little holes can cause problems. So yeah, all of the instructions are here. It's so simple to use. And it also comes with a sheet of butcher paper. Because of course you cannot iron directly on this material. You will melt it. So you'll have to put a sheet of butcher paper on top and then iron it. So for this one, I think I'm actually going to use my big heat press, and then I'm going to use my mini heat press for the other one. So we'll leave that out for now. The next one I'm going to use is Cricut's Printable Iron-On for light fabrics. This one gives you a little bit of information. It does also come with a pressing sheet. I think I might have removed it already because I have used this before. This is the one for light fabrics, like I said, and we are going to go ahead and get the project printed on this material right now. All right, our design for the light fabric is complete. I'm also going to get this cut. And like I said, there is a way to check to make sure something's cut, and I will show you that this time because I forgot to do it with my other cut, so bear with me. Now, how to ensure that your design has cut is by pulling up a corner and just lifting it. I'm not sure if you can see that, but that's lifting and I'm not able to push it out. And honestly, it doesn't even feel like it cut right through. So I'm going to run it again. And how do I do that? I have not unloaded the mat. As you can see, the mat is still in the machine. I'm just going to click on the middle button, the Go Play Cricut. The Explorer had an actual C on it. Click that button again. And it's going to run it through. And it's going to cut it all over again. Now, as you can see, this is now cut. So I'm going to get this out and I'll show you how I'm going to weed it. Okay, so we'll just grab this corner. And like I said, you do have to be a little gentle, but it's most definitely doable. And there you go. Our project is now weeded, and we can one by one take the designs off, but of course I'm first going to remove the mat. So what I'm doing with these ones for the light fabric is I'm going to just gently peel them off. Again, you want to make this, do this very gently, because if you don't, you could pull, stretch, rip the material. We don't want to do that. Now, before I do anything else, I just want to show you why this one is for light fabric and why this one is for dark fabric. And it's all about the back of the paper. If you look at this, this is very much a white backing versus this one. So this one, it's very see-through. We're completely seeing the design right through it, which means that the white is going to act as the booster for the colors. So that's why this is for light fabrics. So any light fabrics will boost those colors out for you. If I were to use this material on my dark fabric, it's not going to pop as much. The colors are going to kind of get into the fabric, or the fabric is going to show through this material way more than the one with the white backing on it. I hope that makes sense, but that's the difference. If you try to use this material on dark fabric, it's not going to look as vibrant as if you use the proper material. Of course, if you use this material on the light fabric, it's going to be fine for you. It's really not going to be an issue, so much of an issue as doing it the opposite way. So I actually decided that I'm going to instead just press both of these with my mini press. But no, you can use the Easy Press, the bigger 9x9, or I think there's 12x12 one, or a big heat press. Either of those products will work. Totally up to you what you want to use, but I'm going to use a mini press just for the sake of being able to show you easier. So I'm going to grab all the things I need to do that, and I'll be back with the finishing of this project. Our heat press is ready. I am just going to iron the blank, which in this case is my pouch, just to warm it up. Of course, if you have any wrinkles, you can also remove the wrinkles. And we're going to place our decal on. Place our butcher sheet back on. I do have my pressing mat here just to protect my surface. I'm going to iron this right on. And our design is on there. And it's on there pretty good. Looks really good, actually. Love it. Okay, so we'll do the other side. The other side, I'm just putting this verse on here. And I'm actually going to put this decal as well. Just like so. It is warm already because I ironed the other side, so I'm pretty good to just go for it. You want some pressure. And there you go. Both sides are complete. Easy as pie. And it's pretty good on there. So that's that. The next thing we're going to do is our tote. And I'm first going to start off by grabbing a lint brush and just cleaning this off. Okay. We'll then put our butcher paper on. Now you can of course find your middle seam by folding your tote in half and just ironing in the corner here, just so you have an idea of where the seam is, like that. I will give this a quick iron, just like I said, to get it warm. Like so. One more pass. And we're going to put our design on. My middle is still there. I am just eyeballing this more than anything else, but oh, that looks really good to me. Make sure my middle is still looking good. Yep. Okay. we're going to put our butcher paper back on and just get to ironing. Like I said, it said heavy pressure, so you want to just put your body weight into it. Gotta check. That's pretty good. Yep. And we can see, we can pop our hand in and you can just see how good it's stuck in there. I'm going to give it one more press just to make sure everything is sticking down nicely. Start from the top and just make my way down. There we go. And voila. We have 2 projects completed just like that. It looks really good. Like I said, the white is just popping, and these colors are also popping because it's on the white material. One thing I did forget to mention is washing. Of course, these you probably won't wash them, but if you were to use this material on t-shirts or track pants or whatever the case may be, it is highly recommended that you wash the product, you wash the item inside out, and do not hang dry it only. And how much fun was that? So simple to create a design. Even if it's a design with lots of little bits, it's doable. And it actually doesn't even look that bad. Like there's not an offset behind it, you know? That's the other side with the little Bible verse that my daughter likes. And then this one is for Women's Day. I thought it would be a cute little bag to carry around because most everywhere is bagless now. And the offset looks so good. It still has the effect of the design, that wavy look, and then, you know, kind of jagged edges. And it's so simple to do. I really do hope you enjoy that tutorial, and I hope you run with this. The links are in my description for this material. As you know, this was a sub heat transfer vinyl, while this one was Cricut. You may have seen, it's pretty much the same. The only thing I would say is that the Cricut one has no smell really, whereas this one has a bit of a strong, like, I don't know, strange scent to it that I didn't really like. It was the only thing I didn't like, but it doesn't smell like that anymore. So that's something good to know. It was just in the first instance, but I hope you give this a try. As always, if you enjoy this video, don't forget to give me the thumbs up. Hit that bell button so you're notified when I post new videos, and of course, subscribe. I hope you enjoyed my face this week. I was able to put it together a little bit as I am heading out soon. Until next week, hope you all have a fabulous week ahead. Take care. Happy crafting. It's a snow day here for us in Toronto, even though I did just say I'm heading out because I am like a crazy person, but you might be able to see the pile of snow in my basement window there. It's snowing a lot. So be safe, happy crafting. Until next week, take care and bye now.